welcome to Board Games with Niramas. I'm Joseph or Niramas, and I'm here today with Racco as usual. And I'm going to do this update a little bit different. This is a first impressions vlog, but I'm also going to include just a few seconds of updating here in the beginning, because I won't do a April update because there hasn't been that much to talk about, to be honest. The channel has been going slow, but I am picking up the pace. As you might have seen on the channel, there's been a few more videos lately here, and I'll keep doing that, of course. I have a big backlog of games that I need to film and I want to film, so I'm happy to be able to just work my way through them right now. And there's gonna be playthroughs and so on as well. So far there's only been unboxings and some reviews of nice inserts as well. I really like that insert for War of the Ring. You can go check that out, and also some dice towers from E-Raptor as well. And there's more stuff coming as well, so I will keep doing reviews for E-Raptor. I like that. So I'm just gonna mention that I'm living my new life, which is quarantine, and because I wanna avoid getting sick, and also I am exercising every day more and more, and getting more and more hard on myself when it comes to what I eat and so on. So I'm doing good here, down to somewhere around 11 kilos down since 2 months, and I'll just keep going. I'm soon going to hit that halfway mark. So soon I lost half of the weight that I need to lose, because I'm gonna do this series this time. I'm gonna go all the way down to a healthy weight and a healthy lifestyle, and I look forward to just tomorrow I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna exercise and all that, which is a great feeling as well to have. And it's really at this time it just happens to be a perfect time to do that, because I have so much time on my hands, so I can really focus on my food and my diet, my exercise and all that, which is awesome. So let's get into games, because that's why you're here, right? So let's talk about first impressions of 5 new games, or new to me at least games. And I played more than that since last time, but I don't want to do these impression vlogs too long, so instead I'll do more of them. So there's going to be a new impression vlog coming soon as well, where I go through 5 other games. I'm going to keep it to 5 for each vlog. So yeah, let's get started with game number 1. So the first game to talk about today is Abyss, or Abyss, and it's a game from, what is it, 2014, so it's not a new game, but it was new for me. I haven't played it before. I heard people talk about this game, and I was excited to try it because it sounded like a game that I really would like, because it's a card play mostly, and some combo stuff, building up a tableau of cards and all that. And in this game, the game box, by the way, is really cool. I think this is one of the coolest artworks out there. There's like different box covers for some reason, but I think it's the same game, or it is the same game. And I also played with 2 expansions, so I haven't played the base game itself. But what you do is you take turns sort of drafting cards from an open display, and then you also get these pearls that you can spend in order to get cards. And then you draw, or you can do different actions. You can draw a card from a deck, and if you draw a monster or a Leviathan, then you will be fighting a Leviathan, and then you need to spend cards in order to, let's see if we can find some good pictures here. I haven't prepared this part. If you can find some cards that has these effects that you need in order to beat that Leviathan, and then you get rewards. And there's a lot going on, and as I said, I only played with the expansion, and the expansion, one of them added more of these fighting elements. I think in the base game, I think it's more sort of simplified, and then they added that and have these little lovely cups as well, where you put your pearls. And yeah, I had a really good time playing this. It's a game that I want to play again. And here's a really cool thing with it, that you sort of build up keys. You build up keys on your cards. It's a symbol of a key. And then when you hit, 3, I think, then you can get, I don't know what it's called, but like this big board here, I don't know, you can get this special board, but then you have to put it over those cards that uses the keys. And you have to do this when you get the 3rd key. You have to get one of those and put it over, and then you get something good for that, like a endgame scoring. but at the same time, those card effects that you had, they are now nullified. So that was an interesting twist to. It's not just about building up. You have to do it in. It's a lot of timing involved in the game, which is something that I really liked as well. And of course, there's like some kind of set collection. You can sort of get the end game goal to have a lot of a certain color of cards and so on. Then you can aim to do that. And yeah, really lovely artwork, and all the the production is nice. Here we see the game played as well. These Board Game Geek pictures can be a lot random, but yeah, nice artwork on the cards. And yeah, as I said, I enjoyed it. I had fun, and I think I want to play it again. Especially, I think now that I played it with those expansions, I don't want to play the base game, I think, because I really liked what those expansions brought. One of the expansions also brought like corruption, so like black pearls. And then it was like a race to, or like a competition between the players to not have the most of the black pearls and all that, which also added an interesting element where, like, to get rid of those, the only way to pay and to get rid of those black pearls is if you don't have any white pearls, then you can use one of those black pearls to pay with when you buy something, a new card and so on. So you try to sort of you try to set that up in a really interesting way. So really enjoyed it, Abyss. Now let's head to the next one. And the next game to talk about is Aeons End. And this is something, again, not a new game. I think it's a few years old, but it's something that I picked up recently. And I wanted to play it because I love deck building, as you might know. And so I have been, especially for solo, I heard in so many like solo, like top 10 or top 25 solo games, people have been mentioning Aeons End. So I really wanted to try it out. And I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite games right now, I would say. It's one of the games that I really want to. I haven't played through everything yet because I got some expansions as well. So I got some new Nemesis, which is the monster you fight. And in the game, it's a deck builder. As you can see here, out here, you have a market of cards that you buy a card from. And that market is different from every game you play as well. It's like Dominion, basically. You build up a open market, which is something I like as well. It's not random. You see from the beginning it's random which cards you will have in the market, but once you start playing, you know what you can get, and you can form a strategy based on that information, which is really cool. And there's a few nice twists here to a lot of these kinds of games. One of them is, as you can see here, I'm putting a card on my breaches. So you have these breaches, they are closed from the beginning, or one might be open and so on, depending on which character you play, because the characters are really different as well, which is nice. Adds a lot of replayability. And in this one, I play with two hands here, but you can play solo with 3 or with 1 or whatever. And it's really cool how you can't just cast a spell like in many games where you have spells, you have attacking cards, you just play them and you get the effect. In this game, you have to prepare them first and put them on those breaches, and the breaches has to be open in order to do that. Some of the breaches, the one to the furthest to the right there, also has a +1 damage, so you want to make sure to use that as much as you can. Really fun cooperative game. I also played it 2-player with Martin and with Draco, and we had fun, trying to cooperate as well and trying to, okay, I'm going to go for this, maybe you will focus on that and so on. So another nice thing, a nice twist to a deck builder is that, well, in a lot of deck builders, the game, so if you build up cards, you become stronger and stronger and stronger in your deck, but then at some point you might not even want to buy cards with your currency that you have, because you don't want to clog up your deck, you don't want to get too big of a deck, right? And then you don't have anything to spend those currency on. That happens in some deck builders. And in this one, it's really interesting because they added these charges, as it's called. You can see it, I think I'm in the way right now, but it's like most of the characters have like 4 or 5 or 6, I think, charges that you buy for like 2 ether, as it's called, the currency in this game. So you can spend that when you don't want to buy a card anymore. If maybe you do it early as well, because you want to do that. And so you build up, like you pay 2 for each charge, but when you have 4 or you have 5 charges, then you can use them all at once in order to do your special ability that only your character has. And that's really, it's nice in a way that that's a way that you, during the game, you also have there's always a balance. Do I want to buy a new card that I want, or do I need to load up the charges, which thing is mostly important right now? But also, especially that effect at the late stages of the game, that you don't feel like you're wasting money, that you don't want to use it for anything, because you can always load up those charges. That's most of the time it's good, right? Sometimes it heals you or whatever the effect might be. And another big twist, which is also awesome, is that you don't shuffle your deck. I think this is the first time I've seen this. I mean, deck builders is usually about getting those cards into your discard pile. When the deck runs out, you shuffle everything, and then you know all that. In this game, when you buy a card, it goes to your discard pile at the top, and then when you played your cards in your turn, at the end of your turn, you get to discard your cards that you played in any order you want, because when your deck runs out, you take your discard pile and flip it over. So, and that changes everything, right? Because then all of a sudden, it's important in which order you buy cards and in which order you discard your cards. And some cards have like one card might have, well, this it gets a boost if you play it together with another card. And in that case, you need to make sure to discard those two cards together in such a way that you will have them both in your hand at the same time later on. So that's a really nice twist to it. I think that's the one that I like the most. I've given this really high. I think I've given it an 8 or a 9 on Boardgame Geek. I think it's such a cool game, Aeons End. And I am really, really excited to get the Aeons End Legacy and play that game, because I love Legacy games and I love Aeons End. So I think that's going to be an awesome match for me to play solo. Sadly, though, it seems to be sold out everywhere that I looked for it in Sweden, but I hope I can get my hands on it at some stage and play it. So that is Aeons End. Can really recommend it. And now next game again. I'm only talking about older games here. I'm sorry if you were looking for brand new games, but I am also I think it's pretty fun because there's been so many games coming out and it keeps coming out. So for me to get a chance to go back and try older games, this one is from 2017, so it's not that old, but still it's fun for me to do that, and it's fun for me to share that with you, to talk about games that is not from Essen last year or so on. It's super new. So this is Calimala, which is it's very classic Euro game in many senses. There's a lot of things going on that is really classic Euro games. Getting victory points, finding combinations. This one was not a super hit for me. I think it was fun. It sure was fun, and I liked the company when we played it and all that. But I mean, you have these cubes. That's some pimped stuff because we didn't have those 3D buildings. But you're building up these ports in Europe, and you're trying to ship goods and build these houses, the classic wooden house there. And it seems like everybody else on these pictures have the cooler version. And you have your ship, and you have these cubes that you're shipping around, and the cubes can be different things, different kinds of goods depending on where they are on your playboard. But I must say the real fun thing about this game, and what I did like, is, let's see if we can get a good picture of it here. Again, not prepared with the Boardgame Geek pictures. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom in on this here. So over here you have like an action part of the board, or whatever you want to call it. And you have your discs, so you have discs and cubes, that's the game, that's the components. And on your turn, you take one of your discs and you place it on one of these spots. And if you place it, if I place it over here, like, I don't know, over here, I can do this action or that action. I hope you can see my mouse pointer here. Like, if you can do the actions on each side of where you place your disc. And so you want to do a certain action, you want to pick up some cloth or some bricks or whatever, you need to place your disc next to it and you get to do those two actions that are next to you. The fun thing is that once you place your disc, it's going to stay there, and then someone else might come and place their disc on top of yours, and then on their turn you get to activate again. And that's really cool. I really like that. There's some other games that have that sort of same game mechanic where you get to do things on another player's turn because they went to the same place that you went. And also when you get to, I think it's the fourth disc that is placed, then all the bottom one, there can never be more than 3, so the bottom one will move out. And then if that's your disc, then you get to place it, like it goes to a scoring board over here, and it activates a goal, sort of, and it scores something. So if there's a lot of planning involved in this, but like if you have a lot of presence, because these are like different cathedrals you're building, and then you're competing on who's done the best job of doing that. So if you're like in the lead on one of them and the scoring is coming up, then you want to make sure to place your disc, your action disc, in such a way that that triggers the scoring of that kind of objective or the goal, so that you will win it. And the best thing is if you can do it in such a way that the other players are not even in that competition, so they don't get any points at all. So that was a really fun part of the game, and I really enjoy that. And I think I do want to play it again, because like the first time you play it, it's a bit it takes a while before you get into it. It's a lot of Euro games are like that. So I do want to play it again, but I don't think this is going to be something that I want to play like 10 times. But at least one more time I would like to try it. So Calimala, I can recommend it, especially if you like these kinds of victory points, back and forth games. There's a lot of interaction though, which is something I usually are not a big fan of when it comes to Euro games. But I think it was okay in this one, and we weren't really that like the game doesn't say that you can negotiate, so you can't negotiate. That's my rule. I don't play games in any other way. I don't play negotiation games when it's not supposed to be negotiation. But there was something came up where one of the players started saying, "Oh, but don't do that because that will benefit Joseph, right?" And if that happens, I'm just stop it or I'm out. That's basically for me. I don't play games like that. But it has a risk of that, and it's something that I really hate. I would never play like Agricola and have someone at the table say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna block this so that it hurts you." Because that will, like king making, then it will help, So yeah, and that's a lot of these games that have a lot of interaction like that. They have that issue, I think, that you can end up with players. It can be, especially on 3 players, it can be like 2 versus 1, which is so boring that just takes away all the fun in gaming for me. Even if I'm one of the guys that benefits, that's not the issue, But I don't feel good about that. I want to be. That's why I like multiplayer solitaire Euro games, because then the result is up to me. It's I did this or I failed this. It wasn't, nobody else was involved. So anyway, that is Calimala, and it was okay. And next up we have a prototype actually. So this is brand new. It's not even released yet. So this is Escape from Flat Earth, and this is a Kickstarter. Well, not a preview. This was a full playthrough that I did with Draco. This game is thematically it's just a card game, but thematically you have your crew members, you're out lost in space, and you're trying to sort of land on a planet. And I don't know, I didn't really get the part with the flat Earth, but it's some kind of humor in that, I think, with the flat Earthers. I don't know. But what you do is you draw cards, you play cards, and you draw cards, and you're trying to attack the other players, and you're trying to sort of get through an event. Basically, it's like, and that's the one thing I really liked about this game. I think it was kind of cute with the whole thematic thing of you start over here with one card, and then you end up with the other card, and during that time you're going to play out event cards, and then you need to play action cards to complete the event, sort of, and then that also forms like a story. So when you're done with the game, you can sort of tell a little story about what you did, which was kind of cute. But for me, this is way too much take that. This is playing attack cards and I'm just gonna take your crew member. And if you lose your crew members, then you're out. So if you play this with 4 or 5, I think you can play with 5 players, 4 or 5 players, you have another problem, which is another big no-no for me in games, and that's player elimination. So you could be eliminated, and then it's gonna be, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes left to go of the game. And what are you supposed to do then? I mean, start playing on your phone? That's not why I have game nights. I think, I think take that and player elimination. That's 2 big no-nos in games. Negative interaction overall, as I talked about with Calimala and so on. But especially this kind of, I play a card and that hits you. And you're also going to choose another thing I really don't like about in games is when, okay, if you have a take that card, I will say that there are some exceptions, like Terraforming Mars has some take that cards, but they don't ruin a whole player. It's not like you get eliminated because I played an asteroid on you. But when there are times when I do like take that, and that is when I can't think of a good example of game now, but when you play something and it hits everyone. Except yourself. I wonder if not Brew just had that. There's games that have that, and I do like that. So aggressiveness or like negative player interaction, but it hits everyone. So it's not a selection, because again we're back to this whole the fun of gaming. Like I don't want to be selected, and I especially don't want to select one. It's like I'm going to look through the table and I'm going to say, okay, who am I going to attack? I don't like that part of a game. So this game is not for me. It was funded on Kickstarter though. The campaign is over. It was, I think it got like, I don't know, twice. It got a lot of more than the funding limit. So I'm happy for that. I mean, I wish them good luck with the whole game ahead as well. And, this was a paid preview or paid playthrough. So, I mean, I gave it a shot, and I know that, like, in the actual playthrough, I don't review games, right? So my opinions now, they come after the campaign, which I think is fair to do when I get paid to do a playthrough or a preview, because they're not looking for my opinion. I'm doing marketing basically, and I think when I do marketing, I don't like the idea of getting paid for reviews, which is basically what I'm doing now. I'm not paid for this. But I think it's okay. Tell me in the comment section what you think about these issues, because it is interesting. I mean, especially in these days that are kind of hard times, I really need to get paid for what I do. It's the same. I mean, if I were fixing cars or building cars or whatever, I need to get paid for my time, right? So I'm not gonna excuse myself for that. But I want to explain the whole process there, because if I make a review and I do it after the campaign is over, then my opinions have not affected the campaign. My video hopefully affected it positive, because that's why they pay me for marketing. Anyway, Escape from Flat Earth. I think a lot of people will have fun with this, because I know the people play Munchkin, and people that take that in games and laughing and haha, I hate you and all that. I think they are gonna have a fun time with this one. And the last game for today that I will talk about is a classic Euro again. This is the oldest one on the list, 2007, Notre Dame. And from Stefan Feld, one of my favorite designers. This is one of those games that I've been wanting to play for years. I've seen it played when I was up in Stockholm a few years ago. I got late, and I arrived like 5 minutes late to the game night, and it just started and I couldn't join. I joined another game. I was, and all that. So I have seen it played, and I've seen playthroughs and all that, and I was excited to try it out. I finally got the chance to do it, so thanks to Mats for that. And anyway, in the game, this is like this game has it has a game mechanic that I really enjoy, which is card drafting. You have your cards, you play a card, you send the other ones over, and you rotate like that. Seven Wonders or Draco's Adventure, my own game for that matter. I really like that in games. And in this one, these cards represent different actions. And so everybody has a hand of, I don't remember how many it is, like 5 or 6 different, it's these pieces. No, it must be 8, because there's like 8 pizza slices on so you have one of your area here of the town that is yours, and you have 8, I think maybe you have 9 cards then, because you had one, I think, that was like a wild card. I don't remember really, but anyway, you have your hand of cards with your cards, but you only play like one of them, and then you pass on, and then you keep rotating like this. So by the end of every round, you play 3 rounds, you have been playing 9 or 10 actions. And you can focus on different kinds of parts of the city, because like at the start, my hand only consists of like one card that goes to one of those slices, right, to one of the actions. But I might be able to play that twice, because I'll play mine and then I get someone else's card with that action as well. So I really like that part of the drafting as well. That was interesting, that everybody starts out the same. So you sort of know, yeah, it was really interesting. And also I like these actions you build up in the city, but as in many of these Stefan Feld games, you also have something bad happening. So in this one, rats build up, and when you get too many rats, then you will lose population, basically. We use your pawns that you place out to do these actions. Another thing that I like, speaking of those pawns, is that, all the cubes, is that if I play whatever this action is called, the green one, place out 1 cube, and I do the action, and I get it at power 1. But then if I do it later on again, and I still have a cube there, right, then I will place another cube, and that will do the action stronger. And one or two of them, I think, even changes how the action works, depending on how many cubes you have on them. but then you can run out of cubes. So then you need to do the action to get more cubes. So yeah, really, really good stuff. I think this, I said it after I played it, I was, blown away. I think I said that this is the best game I played in a long time, and it is. It's so good. I only played it once again, but I had such a good time. Really enjoyed it. I was kind of tired. This was the last game we played that evening. And I was about to head home because it was actually the same day that I got the diagnosis that I had diabetes, which was early February, and I was kind of depressed or hit by that. I didn't talk about it that evening because I didn't want to bring it up when we had a game night right then. But anyway, I was about to head home and I felt I was tired. I've been working and all that. And so I got sort of convinced to just stay for one more game, and we played Notre Dame, and I had such a good time. I had a blast. I just enjoyed it so much. And I really want to play it again, see if it holds up, or if it was just that evening that I, really had such a good time with the company I was playing with and all that. Really fun game group there. So yeah, Notre Dame, can really, really recommend it. And I should also say that there is a so this is from 2007. But in 2017, let's see if I can just pull it up here. They released a 10th anniversary edition, and I think it looks a little bit nicer. I think they updated some components and so on. So that's one that I will definitely pick up myself, because this is a game that I want to own. I love those Stefan Feld games, right? So let's see if we can get, I don't know, looks kind of the same here. But anyway, so there is a new edition out, because I think it was out of print for a long time as well. So that's also why they released a new one, I think. So that was the vlog, the impressions vlog. Right now, I'll be back with another one pretty soon, because I think I have 10 more games that I played that I haven't talked about from February and March, basically. And maybe I played something new in April. I'm not really sure. But I'll be back with more impressions vlogs. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, press the like button to support the channel, and subscribe if you're new as well. I always appreciate that. It's always fun to get new people following the channel, and you can also get like notifications from YouTube when I post new videos if you click the little bell symbol down there as well. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me in the comment section if you have any thoughts or questions or anything. Take care and stay healthy, and have a great evening, morning, or whenever you're watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Be like Draco. Follow Board Games with Niramas on Facebook at BGW Niramas.